Live from Fenway Park, the JCS New England Television Network presents exclusive coverage of Boston Red Sox baseball. Today, the final game of this three-game series between the Red Sox and the Cleveland Indians. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. I'm Sean McDonough along with Jerry Remy. It's great to have you with us for the rubber game of this three-game series. The Red Sox got back in the win column yesterday as they snapped a three-game losing streak. And the offense, Jerry, has come to life this weekend. The Red Sox have scored 15 runs in the two ball games against the Indians after scoring just 5 in the previous 5 games.
Certainly makes it a lot more fun for Red Sox fans, that's for sure. But you got some guys now that look like they're starting to heat up. And Omar is 4 for 9 in this two-game series against some good pitching from the Cleveland staff. Mike Stanley finally had his first home run yesterday, so hopefully that'll get him going. Troy O'Leary continues to hit with power, a couple of home runs. And Lewis, after that brawl, he was 2 for 5 in this series, so hitting out of the 9-hole, that should help the Red Sox. We look at the lineup today, Sean, and there's one change in the lineup. John Valentin is out with the flu, and Jeff Fry is going to get the start at third base. And Fry was talking before the game about the fact, I don't know if I can reach first base. I may need a cutoff man to throw the ball to first base, but he's in there at third today.
He is against the hard-throwing right-hander Bartolo Colon. As a matter of fact, the pitching matchup today features 2 hard-throwing right-handers from the Dominican Republic, Colon, and Pedro Martinez. It should be fun. Well, the first pitch of today's game from Fenway Park, right after this. Baseball is brought to you in part by Southwest Airlines. With fares so low, you have the freedom to go places and do things you never thought possible. Fly Southwest Airlines. Oh, another bright, sunny day here in Boston at Fenway Park. A little bit warmer than yesterday. It isn't anywhere near as breezy, thankfully. The players most thankful for that, as they had a very tough time dealing with the windy conditions. About as windy as you'll ever see it here at Fenway Park yesterday. There is a breeze today, but not as severe. The starting lineup is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. For the Indians, Kenny Lofton leads off. He's had a terrific series in center field, 4 for 8 for the home runs. Enrique Wilson is the shortstop. Omar Vizquel out again with a quad muscle pull. Roberto Alomar is the second baseman. The cleanup hitter, right fielder Manny Ramirez. Batting 5th at first base, Jim Thome. Alfredo Cordero will be the DH today, and bat 6th. David Justice in left field hits 7th. Travis Fryman is the third baseman. And batting 9th, the catcher, Einar Diaz.
And the defense this afternoon for the Red Sox. John Valentin has the flu, so it'll be Jeff Fry filling in at third base. Omar Garcia-Parra, the shortstop. Jose Offerman at second and Mike Stanley at first. Left to right, Troy O'Leary, Damon Buford, and Darren Lewis. Jason Veritek again behind the plate. And on the mound, right-hander Pedro Martinez. 3-1 on the season, and most recent win coming in his last outing against the Tigers. Probably his best ball game of the year. 7 2/3, 3 hits, no runs. Had 10 strikeouts. Martinez leads the league with 38 strikeouts and is 9th in the league with an ERA of 2.28.
Well, Pedro trying to help the Red Sox make it 2 out of 3 this weekend over the Indians. Red Sox begin play with a record of 9-8. Yesterday, a rare loss for the Indians. They fell to 12-4. And just moments ago, the ceremonial first pitch by Mark Whipple, the football coach at the University of Massachusetts, who led his team to the Division I AA National Championship. And he did a Louis T on imitation.
Almost lost his balance as he spun around toward home plate. They had a great season, the UMass.
Boy, they sure did. In his first year, what a way to start at a new program. Came to UMass from Brown. He did a fabulous job. By all accounts, a terrific guy, too. Pedro Martinez with strike 1, and we're underway at 106. Kenny Lofton took a called strike. He's hitting .375. His only homer of the season came here on Friday night down the right field line off Pat Rapp. 1 ball and 1 strike. Challenge time, the fastball upstairs, and Lofton knows he needs to pick up the pace with the bat speed. Lofton hitting .474 on the road. Only Kevin Stocker of Tampa Bay and Mike Sweeney of Kansas City have hit for a higher average in road games. Low 1-2. In on the hands and fouled away. 58 degrees at game time. With the wind today just at 10 miles per hour, the flag right now blowing across the field from left to right. So again today, it should knock down balls hit to left and perhaps help balls hit in the air to right. The 1-2 outside, 2-2. The home plate umpire is Ed Hickox, with Larry Barnett, the crew chief, at first base, Greg Kosk at second, and Dan Morrison has the plays at third. And the 2-2 is up and away, and Laughlin has worked the count full.
Pedro had 3 starts a year ago against Cleveland. He was 1-1 in 25 innings, only gave up 4 earned runs to the Indian Ball Club.
The payoff pitch to Laughlin. He struck him out with the fastball.
Pedro's had high strikeout numbers in every start this season. 10 the last 2 games against Detroit and Chicago. 9 in the first 2 against Kansas City and Tampa Bay. 9 in each game. And challenge time there. Fastball right by Kenny Laughlin for his first of this ball game.
1 out, the batter, Enrique Wilson, the shortstop again today for Cleveland. He goes after the first one and fouls it out of play to the left. He's hitting .258. 8 hits on the season, including a homer. He's knocked in 2. Omar Vizquel bothered by a quad muscle pull. He's out of the lineup again today. Mike Hargrove thinks Omar will benefit from a few days in a row off. Here's the Indian manager. His team seems to be cruising right along, but the Indians do have some injury concerns. Sandy Alomar not in the lineup again today because of back spasms. We mentioned the injury to Vizquel. He has a couple of pitchers who are ailing. Mark Langston's had a bad elbow. Ricky Rincon, who they thought might come off the disabled list in the next day or 2, went back to Cleveland for more examination on his injured arm. 3-1 pitch. Fouled out of play, but you get the sense, Jerry, with this team, particularly in its division, it doesn't matter. They can have those kinds of injuries and even more and still win their division with ease.
Well, we talked about it all weekend, Sean, that it's so strong, 1 through 9 in the lineup. They could even have a couple of people out of the lineup, and still they're going to score their share of runs.
3-2 pitch, fisted into center, and played on a hop by Buford. He did not catch it. A great attempt, but he did not make the catch. Caught it on the short hop, and it's a base hit for Wilson. Buford plays a very deep center field, and on plays like that one, it hurts.
What a heck of an effort here by Damon Buford. He tried to steal a call from Greg Kosk, the second base umpire, but you can clearly see there the ball did bounce into the glove. He'll come up showing the ball to the umpire, hoping that he'll bite for it, but Kosk in pretty good position to make the call on that one.
A 1 out base runner for Cleveland in the first. Just underway, no score. The batter, Roberto Alomar. He hits a double play ball to short. Garcia Parra, Offerman, Stanley. A 6-4-3 double play gets Pedro out of the first unscathed after a half inning. The Indians nothing, and the Red Sox coming up. No score after a half inning. The Red Sox starting lineup is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. This afternoon, Jose Offerman leads off and plays second base. Jeff Fry back in the lineup at third. Batting third and playing shortstop, Nomar Garcia Parra. Reggie Jefferson, the cleanup hitter in DH. Mike Stanley at first base. Batting sixth in left field, Troy O'Leary has hit 2 home runs in this series. Damon Buford is the center fielder. The catcher, Jason Varitek, will bat eighth, and hitting ninth, the right fielder, Darren Lewis.
Indians are 4th in the league in defense, 10 errors in his 16 games. Travis Fryman will be at third base. Enrique Wilson, the shortstop. Robbie Alomar at second, and Jim Thome at first. Dave Justice gets a start in left field. DH to left field today. Kenny Laughlin in center field. Manny Ramirez in right. Pete Diaz behind the plate. And on the mound, right-hander Bartolo Colon. He is also off to a great start. 3-0 on the season, a 2.65 ERA. Last season for Colon, he had a terrific first half of the year and then really struggled in the second part of the season. But as I mentioned, Sean, he's off to a great start this year. He was 0-2 in 3 starts a year ago against the Red Sox.
Very talented young pitcher.
Leading off for the Red Sox, number 30, the third baseman, Jose.
And he's ready to go to work to Jose Offerman. Jose hitting .373, a homer and 9 runs batted in. He's a switch hitter. It hasn't made much difference. He's hit .385 from the right and .370 from the left this year. First pitch from Colon, the fastball for strike one. And as usual, Jose's been all over the bases. And this weekend against the Indians, another tough pitch. With his .373 average, Offerman is tied for 7th in the American League in hitting, tied with Tim Salmon of Anaheim and Mike Sweeney of Kansas City. Derek Jeter leads the league at .424.
Says all the makings of a great pitching matchup today. Pedro and Colon. Colon with the similar stuff, the good hard fastball, changeup, curveball.
Fouled away by Offerman, still 1-2. Colon, just 23 years old, from the Dominican Republic. 6 feet, 225 pounds. He thought he had strike 3. He has a very big lower body, and he really has excellent leg drive off the mound to generate the power behind that fastball.
Oh, you see that with a lot of power pitches, guys that throw hard. You remember Nolan Ryan, very strong in the lower body. Tom Seaver.
Little chopper down the line, foul. Still 2-2 on Offerman. Jeff Fry to follow, then Nomar Garcia-Parra. In the first against Colon. In his first full major league season last year, went 14-9. Offerman hits in the air and left. Pretty well hit. Justice at the wall. It's off the wall, right on the top of the padding. And Offerman is safe with a double.
$11 doubles now on this young season for Jose Offerman. Second in the league behind Troy Glass, who has 12. Glass with Anaheim, of course. Looks like if Justice went back to the wall, he may have had a play in this. It was just right at the top of the padding. But, of course, left field for visiting players always a problem. And sometimes you're better being safe than sorry and backing off and playing it off the wall.
First appearance in the field in the series for Justice. He'd been the DH in the first 2 games with Will Cordero out there in left. Now Jeff Fry takes a ball low. Jeff back in the lineup today with a .265 average. He's been up 34 times with 9 hits and has 2 runs batted in. He'll try to move the runner along to third. At the very least, Fryman in on the edge of the grass at third. Fry takes a strike on the inside corner.
We're talking about power pitches being strong in the lower body, and then you look at Pedro, who's not very big, and I remember a guy named Ron Guidry, who was only about 160 pounds, that could really throw hard.
One pitch just inside. 2 balls and a strike. Fry, the odd man out lately. Jimmy Williams trying to find as much offense as he can. Has been using Jose Offerman at second base. Reggie Jefferson is the DH. And both have been hitting very well. Three and one now. And Jeff Fry understands the situation. But it also is a little bit frustrating because he really hasn't done anything to deserve to be yanked out of the lineup. He's just the victim of the numbers game that Jimmy Williams is caught in right now.
That's why I laugh a lot of times in spring training. We get so hung up on talking about positions and lineups, and things change very quickly once the season starts.
The 3-1 from Cologne. Lined. Fair ball. Touched by a fan. It'll be a double and an RBI for Fry. And the Red Sox open the ball game with back-to-back doubles and a 1-0 lead.
What a good job there by Jeff Fry. He got himself in a nice hitters count, 3-1. He's trying to move the ball to the opposite field. And on the 3-1 count, he got a fastball that he get his hands inside and slap it hard right on that line down the right field line. There's the fan interference, and umpires will place Fry at second and allow Offerman to score.
So a quick lead for the Red Sox and a chance to do more damage here in the first with Fry at second base. And still nobody out for Nomar Garcia-Parra. He's had a good weekend and has raised his average up to 306. Still looking for his first homer. He's knocked in 4 runs. Fouled right back to the screen. 1 strike on Garcia-Parra. He was 3 for 5 yesterday, sitting .385 with men in scoring position this season. 4 for 9 in the series. The 1-strike pitch from Cologne, way outside, backhanded by Diaz. Jerry mentioned Cologne got off to the quick start last year. As a result, he was named to the All-Star team and wound up the winning pitcher in the All-Star game in Denver. Despite the fact he gave up a 3-run homer to Barry Bonds. On the ground, nice backhand play by Thome. The flip to Cologne, out on a very close play. Excellent play by Thome to take a hit away from Garcia-Parra. Fry moved to third on the play.
But again, you see Nomar with that inside-out stroke with the man on second base. He wants to go to the opposite field, hit the ball hard, but a terrific play there by Jim Thome to save a run and get an out. Quick race between Cologne and Nomar, and Cologne just there in time to record the out at first base. That's a heck of a play by Thome and a nice flip to his pitcher covering first base.
Infield in for Cleveland. They know they're opposing Pedro Martinez today. Mike Hargrove wants to try to cut down the second run right here. Reggie Jefferson swinging a hot bat, takes the ball down and in. 294 for Reggie with 2 runs batted in. Bounced right at the second baseman. Fry's going to try it, and he is out. Alomar came home to Diaz, who blocked the plate. Fry didn't hesitate. Off with the contact, but the Indians executed cleanly, and Hargrove's strategy pays off.
Yeah, a lot of times with the 1 out, you will play contact at third base if you have a runner there with speed, but an excellent play by both the catcher and Diaz to block the plate, and a nice throw from Alomar. And he'll cut Fry down at home plate. So you're right, Sean, it does pay off. When you're facing Pedro, you're trying to stop as many runs as early in the game as you can.
Now it's a runner at first and 2 outs. And Mike Stanley, the hitter. In on the hands, a little bloop hit into shallow right. Jefferson on his way to third. Well, Mike Stanley went through a long hitless stretch, 0 for 19. Hit some balls sharply during that time with nothing to show for it. He got on track yesterday with 2 hits, including his first home run. And sometimes once you get on track, your luck changes completely. This is a total bloop.
I saw Mike at first base checking his hand for splinters. He really got jammed by Cologne, but he's owed a couple of those. As you mentioned, he swung the bat pretty well. Does not have much to take home with him for it. And there he picks up that bloop base hit.
Phil Regan, the pitching coach, out to the mound to chat with Colon.
Having to calm him down because those are the kind of base hits that really aggravate a pitcher. You make a good pitch, you jam a guy, and he ends up getting a base hit on it.
Now Troy O'Leary, who's homered in each of the first 2 games of this series against Jarrett Wright. He started the rally in the 5th inning on Friday night with a homer into the Red Sox bullpen. And then yesterday, Troy went deep with a little help from a fan who reached over in center field. And Troy now has 6 home runs. 6 of the Red Sox 11 as a team. He's the team leader in homers and runs batted in with 13. Trying to add to his RBI total. Took a slider for ball 1. Looked like a pretty good pitch from Colon. Outfield straightaway for Troy. Ramirez playing a very deep right field. Strike at the knees.
And we'll see both pitches in this game consistently over 90. That was a 92-mile-an-hour fastball from Colon.
Check swing and a line foul on the third base side. Had the fans oohing and ahhing as that one whistled toward the seats. One and 2 on O'Leary. Troy's tied for second in the American League in homers. Tim Salmon also has 6. Jose Canseco has 9. The Tampa Bay Devil Rays finally lost yesterday. Had their 6-game winning streak ended against Seattle. But they are still 11-8. First and third, 2 outs. 1-0 Red Sox in the first. The 1-2 to O'Leary is a high rider. 2-2. He struck him out. And that ends the inning. It's the first strikeout of the ball game for Bartolo Colon. The Red Sox settle for 1. They leave runners at the corners, and after 1, it's 1-0 Boston.
Sox have the 1-0 lead after an inning. Don't miss your chance to see the Red Sox play this season. Call the ticket office at 617-267-1700 for the best available seats. Don't delay. Boston Red Sox baseball is just a phone call away.
And a lot of people must have dialed that number lately because of a big crowd here today. Right now, just a few empty seats in the back of the bleachers, and those have a way of filling up as the afternoon goes along. The fans who have come out this weekend have seen an exciting weekend. 2 brawls Friday night, a 1-run Red Sox loss, and then the offensive outburst yesterday by the Red Sox when they scored 9 times, a season high, to end a 3-game losing streak and get back above the 500 mark. They'd like to close out this brief 3-game homestand with a win. Here's Manny Ramirez fouling the first pitch straight back. 25 runs batted in for Ramirez. Very little damage by Manny against Pedro Martinez over the years. He's 1 for 11. He leads the league in runs batted in by 5 over Tim Salmon. The breaking ball, 0-2. Ramirez is the major league leader in runs batted in by 4 over Matt Williams of the Arizona Diamondbacks. 1-2. I hope sometime in interleague play may arrange so that the Red Sox can play the National League West. I'd like to go to that ballpark there in Phoenix, the Bob, I think they just call it. Bank One Ballpark, the swimming pool out in right field.
I guess that's the long-term plan, isn't it, for play different divisions as time goes on in this? Yeah.
If they continue with interleague play.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind making that National League West trip. San Francisco, Arizona, L.A., San Diego, Colorado.
Yeah. That'd be nice. Fastball fouled away. I'm sure because our production crew is so accommodating that maybe we could arrange to do a game from the pool.
Wouldn't be a bad idea.
Bank One ballpark.
Nice hot Phoenix night.
Yeah. Two and two. You could wear that same Speedo we see you in at the pools around the American League.
Yeah. You couldn't pay me to get in that pool with that ball.
For the 2-2. Breaking ball for strike 3 on the outside corner, and that's just nasty, almost unfair. And Ramirez simply left to walk away, shaking his head, giving credit to the pitcher.
Well, it's hard enough to face Pedro with both just the fastball and changeup, but when he can add in this curveball consistently, it's usually going to be a long day for the opposition. A couple of curveballs and that at bat to Martinez. That one right on the outside corner, and to Ramirez, and no chance at all.
Jim Thome trying to turn up the volume a bit. Couldn't get to the high heat from Pedro. 351 for Thome. He's just out of the top 10 in the league in hitting. 3 homers, 10 runs batted in. A foul ball to the screen. Pedro's come right after him with 2 90-plus mile-per-hour fastballs, and Thome's fouled them both back. The 0-2. When Pedro gets in a groove, he works very quickly. He's obviously trying to do that right now. The other night, it seemed the Tigers were trying to get him out of that rhythm, stepping out with regularity. Ball in the dirt, 2-2.
Now that's what you try to do if a guy gets in a groove like Martinez and he's right back on the rubber throwing. You'll have a few guys step out just to try to break up that rhythm, and that is something Pedro doesn't like when they do that.
Thome's 2 for 6 in the series with an RBI. He took a ball high, so the count's gone from 0-2 to 3-2. Check swing, strike 3, says Ed Hickox. Thome about halfway down the line. And they'll post the 3rd K for Pedro in the center field bleachers.
Well, Thome was geared in on the fastball. Pedro on the 3-2 count will go to the changeup. It's not a strike, but Thome not able to control ahead of that bat. And home plate umpire Ed Hickok making the out call. Confidence to throw any pitch at any time.
And you have to give Thome an A for effort. And he knew he had swung, but at least he tried to steal the call. Wilfredo Cordero greeted again by boos. He's had a good weekend here. 344 average for the season. 2 homers, 10 runs batted in. Even in the count now, 1-1. 4 for 8 in the series, including the game-winning homer off Jim Corsi on Friday night. And he's trying to get that one in the gap in left center, but it hangs in the air, and O'Leary was able to run it down. After an inning and a half, 1-0 Red Sox. You're watching Red Sox baseball on the JCS New England Television Network.
Number 2, the center fielder, Damon Buford.
Home half of the second and the bottom third of the order coming up for the Red Sox. Boston sent 6 men to the plate and scored 1 run on 3 hits in the first against Bartolo Colon. So here's Damon Buford, the number 7 hitter, hitting .265 with 4 runs batted in. Off-speed pitch outside. Buford 1 for 7 in the series. He started every game. Once again today, Trot Nixon not in the starting lineup. Bounding ball, foul.
New attendant down there.
I think that's that guy from last year, Sean. He's got a good glove.
Good glove and a belt around the pants. Look at that.
Yeah,
Two hands.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Little flare there, too, with the bare hand going in the glove.
I remember right. He was supposed to play for some college team.
Yes.
Talking about that last season.
Yes, we'll get the details the next homestand. Oh, even spits like a big leaguer.
Yeah, he's got it together.
1-1 pitch is a strike. 1-2. Colon signed at age 18 out of the Dominican Republic. Cleveland has a baseball school in the Dominican Republic. Colon strikes out Buford for his second strikeout of the afternoon.
Well, you can see all the hitters this afternoon against both Pedro and Bartolo Colon trying to crank it up just a notch because of this hard fastball. Second strikeout for Colon. His high so far this season is 7. And that was a game against Kansas City.
Back-to-back strikeouts here as he fanned O'Leary to end the first. Jason Varitek's average is dipped to 186. He has 1 RBI. Ball 1 just low. How's Brett Saberhagen doing? I know you checked on his condition.
Seems to be okay, Sean. Same type of problem he had in that one spring training start. He said he got out of there just in time, and he expects to make his next start.
That's a fair ball right down the right field line. Untouched by a fan this time. Varitek digging for 2, and he has a stand-up double. Red Sox have 3 doubles. 3 of their 4 hits have gone for 2 bases.
Varitek has had his struggles offensively, but right here gets ahead of the fastball and pulls it right down that first base line. So the Red Sox piling up some extra base hits early in this ball game. 3 doubles and the 1 single by Mike Stanley. Varitek making that decision to go to second base on his own. That play in front of him. Yeah, Saberhagen saying, well, if I was a little bit younger, I might have tried to stay out there for the 5th inning, but he's going through too much to chance it.
Darren Lewis, a late swing and a line foul into the upper boxes on the first base side. Lewis with a good day yesterday, 2 for 4, 2 runs batted in. Raised his average back over 200 for the year. Now it's 204. Varitek at second, 1 out, 1-0 Red Sox in the home half of the second. Of course, Saberhagen on a very cold day yesterday pitching in the short sleeves. He said he just doesn't like to have long sleeves, but on a cold day in the future he may think about going back to some sort of thin shirt that isn't confining.
The problem is more in the back of his shoulder, not to where he had all the serious operation, but a little bit more toward the back. So that's good news too.
1-1 pitch up and away.
Hopefully no more cold weather till September. Had enough.
No, we shouldn't have to worry about it on the upcoming road trip, although you can't have an occasional cool night in Oakland. It'll be nice in the Metrodome, climate controlled. The 2-1 pitch. Bounce right back to Colon. He looked Varitek back to second, and he throws out Lewis.
And Colon throws 2 types of fastball. The cross-seam fastball, and then he'll throw the 2-seam that runs back in the hands of those right-handers. So very hard, but a lot of movement on that pitch, and that's the reason he'll crack a lot of bats for right-handed hitters. This fastball will go back in on Darren Lewis, right back to the middle, and Colon will make the play.
And another warm round of applause to greet Jose Offerman. Jose doubled to left to start the game and scored the only run of the game. One ball on Offerman.
Cologne was 9-4 in the first half last year. Had an American League best ERA of 2.46 after 17 starts. Went to the All-Star game, and then the second half of the year was 5-5, 5.65 ERA. Finished the year 10th in the league in ERA at 3.71. Had 6 complete games, 5th in the American League. Just missed. And it's 3-0.
They see Offerman here with the green light, especially with the right-handed hitter on deck. I'm sure the Indians are aware of that.
Jeff Fry to hit next. And they're going to go ahead and walk Offerman.
Offerman's already got 3 intentional walks on the season. That ties it with Albert Bell in that category.
Number 3, the third base.
I think Mike Hargrove misses Albert Bell. Might miss the production, but probably doesn't miss the headaches that came with managing Albert. Jeff Fry doubled into right field to knock in the first run of the ball game last inning. Another RBI opportunity with 2 men on and 2 outs. 1-0 Red Sox in the second. First pitch from Cologne, a belt high fastball for a strike. Late swing at that fastball. 0-2. Talked about the school the Indians have in the Dominican Republic. Cologne's the 3rd player to come out of the tribe's Dominican school to appear for them in the major leagues. The other 2, Julian Tavares, who's been traded since, and his battery mate today, Cologne's battery mate, Enar Diaz. Out of play over the roof on the right.
Cologne signed at the age of 18 by Winston Yanis, former major league player, a teammate of mine for a brief period with the California Angels.
More and more teams are spending money and scouting in Latin American countries. Look at the grip of Cologne, rolling that ball around while he gets the sign. And he lets a fastball fly at 93 miles per hour to strike out Fry and end the inning. Red Sox have left 4 men on over the first 2. They lead 1-0 after 2 at Fenway. Oh, is our crew on top of things? John Hancock Fan Fest. Of course, there's the John Hancock Tower. Tallest building in downtown Boston. Not the biggest in terms of square footage, though, in metropolitan Boston. That'd be the Remy Mansion out in the
number 23
western suburbs.
David Justice.
I get in just in time, Sean. Couldn't get in nowadays.
David Justice, bottom 3rd of the order for Cleveland. Against Pedro Martinez, been on top of his game, just a bloop hit through 2 innings, and he's faced the minimum 6 men as a double play, wiped out the base hit in the first. Justice takes a ball low. He has struggled out of the gate here in 99. There's 4 hits all year, hitting 154. 1 for 7 in this series. He takes a fastball inside. Justice is 4 for 26 for the year. 2-0. A little pop fly and shallow left center. Garcia Parra out to make the catch. Looked like Nomar wanted to get the sunglasses down, but never quite could as he staggered underneath that pop-up.
Yeah, he didn't have a lot of time because it was not hit that high, but I agree with you. I think he was trying to flip those shades down, couldn't get them down, and has to make the catch in the sun. Once again, very difficult. No clouds up top today, but at least the wind has died down from yesterday. This obviously the nicest of the 3 games of this series.
Travis Fryman is the hitter. With 1 out and the bases empty in the 3rd, the Red Sox lead 1-0. Ball 1 low and away. Fryman hitting .306, 2 homers, 10 runs batted in. One and one. See on the left side of his nose a little scrape there. That's a remnant of one of the brawls on Friday night. A 2-1 fastball, blistering 93 mile-per-hour heater for strike 2.
Usually when someone charges the mound at third baseman, first baseman, and catcher are all close to the action, so you get some bumps and bruises trying to pull guys off a pile.
Strike 3, the high, hard one. And that's 4 strikeouts for Martinez.
2 with the fastball, 1 with the curveball, 1 with the changeup. Rising fastball that time. Now that was only clocked at 88, but because of the location up above the letters, it's almost impossible for Fryman to get on top of that pitch.
2 outs. 6 in a row retired by Pedro. The number 9 hitter catcher Einar Diaz digging in, hitting .269. A homer and 5 runs batted in. He has 1 hit in the series. He started every game with Sandy Alomar still troubled with back spasms. A pop-up. Fry, Garcia Parra. Fry makes the catch. Near the pitcher's mound, Pedro has an easy 1-2-3 inning. Heading to the bottom of the 3rd at Fenway, the Red Sox 1 and the Indians nothing.
That's right. We have that available now, so we might.
Yes, we do.
Get some ducats for later in the season.
Not a bad idea. I think today we should call Joe Castiglione, though, find out how the wedding went.
Good idea.
Yesterday. Big wedding out there in Ludlow. Nomar bounces the first one down to 3rd. Travis Fryman to Jim Thome for the out. Nomar's 0 for 2.
Number 18, the designated hitter, Ricky Jefferson.
Reggie Jefferson, the batter. He reached on the fielder's choice in the 1st.
Is the line busy over there?
I called over to the radio booth. The line's busy.
He's probably checking on their honeymoon.
Well, that's another thing we can find out, where they're going on the honeymoon. Lots of pertinent details.
Yeah, a lot of things. What's happening, what's going on. We got to find out all that stuff about the wedding, about the honeymoon.
I understand the inane banter commissioners are standing by to flash the warning today. Out of play, 0-2. But I'm sure you've experienced this too. As we walk around the great city of Boston, the phone has become a smash hit with the viewing audience.
Well, you brought up some interesting numbers that we get a hold of today that would be great for the audience.
Sooner we don't want to give away any surprises, but we may actually have a celebrity guest later in the year. Because everybody wants to be on the phone. It's become a trendy thing now to be the person we choose to call. 1-2.
If I run into Prince out in Minnesota, or the guy that was formerly Prince, I'll see if we can get his cell phone number and call him. What is he now, anyway?
I don't know. He was some sort of symbol. Oh, we're on the clock. The main Panther warning has begun. 3 of them were ejected. What I wonder now, maybe when you talk to Prince, I know you dine with him or slash her, whatever, because I think the symbol is for some sort of androgynous thing or whatever. But you know that song, "We're Gonna Party Like It's 1999"? Well, now it is 1999, so now what?
We can have a party.
Prince. Strike 3. Jefferson strikes out, and as expected, this has become a ball game being controlled by the pitchers. Colon is fan 4.
Yeah, challenge Reggie with the fastball. He has 4 in the afternoon, and you're right, Sean. You pretty much expected this kind of performance this afternoon with Pedro and Colon going after each other.
Mike Stanley takes a strike. Mike singled to right in the first. Little bloop hit. He's owed a couple, as we discussed at the time. The Red Sox lead 1-0. They scored in the first. Back-to-back doubles by Jose Offerman and Jeff Fry to start the game. The Red Sox have had other chances. They've left 2 men on in each of the first 2 innings. Colon bidding for his first 1-2-3 inning. Here in the third is 0-1 to Stanley. There's a breaking ball just a little bit up and away. Fastball runs inside. I think the longer Stanley's around, the more you appreciate his presence on the team. Just such a solid, respected veteran. His teammates really look up to him and admire the way he goes about his business.
I agree, Sean. We talked about that in spring training when the leadership thing started to come up. And, you know, to me, this is a guy, if I was a young player, that I'd want to spend as much time with as possible. I mean, he's been around. He knows an awful lot about hitting, about pitching. He studies it. And very level-headed. I mean, the same every day.
Yep. Very pleasant, but also very businesslike. And he's looking forward to warmer weather. A native Floridian, lives in Orlando now. Up there with a full count. Payoff pitch, fouled back.
The other guy in that same category, I would put the Darren Lewis.
Yes.
And quietly, Darren Lewis does have a lot to say. He pulls some players aside on a team plane or a bus early in the clubhouse and talk about baseball. Both guys study the game.
I think that shot right there is instructive. You can see how carefully he's paying attention. A lot of times you see in the dugout, guys might be joking around. Look out, that hit him. Runs inside. Colon's body language would indicate that that was the last thing he intended to do.
No reason to do that. Certainly not intentional. You run that count to 3-2. If you wanted to do that, you'd do it on the first couple of pitches and save yourself a few. He's trying to run that ball back inside on Stanley like in the last at bat, but this time he'll hit him.
That was 89 miles per hour right off the elbow. That has to hurt.
Yeah, that's an 89-mile-an-hour two-seam fastball, so that's pretty quick.
Well, Stanley's on base again. And here's Troy O'Leary. Tough pitch for strike one. O'Leary struck out swinging with runners at the corners to end the first. 1 run, 4 hits for Boston. No runs, 1 hit for Cleveland. Neither team has made an error. Off-speed offering, fouled back off the glass in front of the 600 club. 0-2. Protective mode and a foul ball. O'Leary's godfather, I believe, Davey Nelson, is in the ballpark today.
Doing radio for the Cleveland Indian broadcast.
Former major leaguer, former Indians coach, now their radio analyst along with Tom Hamilton. Davey Nelson and Troy O'Leary's dad are longtime friends. Troy's dad, longtime air traffic control supervisor in Los Angeles area. Well hit ball, left field corner. That's off the wall, a fair ball. Stanley's not a fast runner. He'll stop at third as Justice plays it back in after a double by Troy O'Leary.
The Red Sox, who usually are up toward the top of the league in doubles year in and year out, have started to pile them up in this ball game. O'Leary taking that fastball that's down and away right into the corner in left field. He's comfortable down there for Justice. It really didn't rattle around very long, so he's able to quickly pounce on it and keep Stanley at third base.
So another chance for the Red Sox. They've had opportunities to widen the lead here in the first 3 innings. They've left 4 men on over the first 2. 2 of them stranded in scoring position. Damon Buford takes a fastball for a strike. He struck out swinging as the leadoff hitter last inning. Stanley at second, Stanley at third rather, O'Leary at second. Not much speed with those 2 runners. The ball high. Let's pause for station identification. You're watching Red Sox baseball on the JCS New England Television Network.
You're watching Red Sox baseball on Eastern and Central Maine's local sports leader, WAVI-TV, Channel 5, Bangor.
Sean McDonough, Jerry Remy. Today's game produced by Pat Cavanaugh, directed by Bob Whitelaw. 1-0 Red Sox in the third. They're trying to win 2 out of 3 this weekend against the Indians. High heat, and Buford didn't get it. 1-2. 2 for 9 in scoring position. Buford chokes up on that bat. And even while doing that, it's tough to get to the kind of gas that Colon can rush up there. Got a piece of that one to stay alive.
Trying to cut the swing down there with 2 strikes just to try to make contact. A tough matchup today for Damon Buford, who does not face a lot of right-handers, has recently. Most of his work a year ago was against left-handed pitching.
Another 1-2 pitch. He struck him out. 91 miles per hour. Buford's had a tough time with the fastballs of Colon in his first 2 at-bats. Colon has fanned 5. And the Red Sox now left 6 men on through 3 innings. 1-0 Boston after 3 at Fenway Park. Four without issuing a walk. And Colon has 5 strikeouts. And Pedro's faced a minimum 9 men through 3 innings, as the Indians have had just 1 base runner. That was on a bloop hit to left center by Enrique Wilson in the first, and he was wiped out when Alomar grounded into a double play.
Now batting for Cleveland.
So Martinez has retired 7 in a row. He'll face the top of the order again here in the 4th. Kenny Lofton, Enrique Wilson, and Roberto Alomar. First pitch to Lofton. Strike 1. Lofton struck out swinging as the first batter of the ball game. Been a lot of speculation in recent years that he might wind up with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Kenny lives in Tucson, Arizona. He went to the University of Arizona. He's a great 2-sport athlete. Base hit. And if they don't get on it quickly, Lofton was the kind of guy who might try for 2, but Buford played it alertly. And Lofton has his 5th hit of the series.
But Arizona has become a favorite target for a lot of free agent players.
The shortstop.
Great place to live, brand new ballpark.
It's that way in the NBA, too. I saw a poll a few years ago of NBA players asking if you could pick the franchise or team that you'd want to play for. What would you pick? And the Phoenix Suns were number 1. Enrique Wilson singled to left in the first. The only other Indians hit. Red Sox will have to keep an eye on Lofton. Wilson was jammed. He pops it up in shallow center. Buford's there this time to make the catch. Lofton back to first.
It was surprising to see him jump on that first pitch when you have a base stealer like Kenny Lofton at first base. So a lot of times the guy at the number 2 hole maybe take a strike for him, try to give him a chance to steal. But then again, when you're working against Pedro, you don't want to get to 2 strikes because he's liable to punch you out. So sometimes that game will change depending on who's pitching.
Robbie Alomar bounced into the 6-4-3 double play that ended the first. Fry in on the edge of the grass at third, middle of the infield at double play depth. Stanley holding Lofton at first. 5 steals for Kenny without being caught. He was the 6th man on the 1988 University of Arizona basketball team. They reached the Final Four that year. Then the next year in '89, he was the starting point guard on a team that was ranked number 1 in the nation during the regular season. He was a teammate of Steve Kerr, among others, who's had a very nice NBA career. Won championships with the Chicago Bulls before moving on to the San Antonio Spurs. Steve Kerr.
Lofton penetrating and jumping it back out to Kerr for the 3-pointer, right?
Yeah, Steve Kerr, prolific 3-point shooter. Kenny Lofton set Arizona records for steals in a season and a career. You can picture him doing that. Didn't play baseball until he was a junior at the University of Arizona. The 1-0 to Alomar. Nice pitch by Pedro, evening the count at 1-1.
Pedro will do a couple of different things to try to hold that runner. He'll hold the ball a long time, use that step-off move, and then not the high leg kick, more of a slide step.
A ball and a count of 2-1.
By holding the ball a long time, what you're trying to do is get that base runner to stop any kind of movement over there. Try to get him back on his heels just a bit, which makes it a little bit more difficult. Base runners like to, base stealers like to have some type of movement going all the time.
Check swing and a foul ball. Alomar looked like he was trying to get out of the way. The pitch broke toward him. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. The speedy Lofton at first. Top of the 4th. Martinez and the Red Sox lead 1-0. Strike 3. Fastball in the outside corner. Number 5 for Martinez.
Well, remember the previous pitch that Alomar was trying to get out of the way of. Looked like maybe a cut fastball inside. Now right back to the outside corner with the fastball, and just a perfect pitch. Veritek set up on the corner. It didn't have to move the glove at all. Almost like Alomar was looking something in that pitch. It's a very uncomfortable day for hitters against both these guys.
Now Lofton is at first with 2 outs for Manny Ramirez, who was called out on strikes his first time up. He asked for time. Just as he did, Pedro stepped off. The old Statue of Liberty play. Haven't seen that move quite as much with the departure of Aaron Seeley from the Red Sox pitching staff. He seemed to be the most regular practitioner of that move. You step off and raise the ball over your head. Pedro comes to the plate with the ball low.
That came with Joe Kerrigan when he signed here as pitching coach a couple of years ago, and we see a number of pitchers around the American League do that. Sometimes a quick movement from the pitcher to see if the the base runner will give away anything. Maybe a quick step toward second base.
Swing and a miss.
Pedro does it pretty well, though. Some guys are downright ugly when they do that.
Pedro seems to have all three working today: the fastball, the breaking ball, and the changeup.
Just like the last outing against the Tigers.
1-1 pitch. Fastball, foul tipped into the mid of Varitek.
And he's also done a good job because Lofton's still standing at first base, and he's been there a long time. We'd expect him with the 2 strikes and 2 outs to give it a shot.
The crowd hoping for another punch out from Pedro. The 1-2 chopped right back to the mound. Martinez to Stanley, and that ends the inning. After 3.5, 1-0 Boston. You're watching Red Sox baseball on the JCS New England Television Network.
Batting for the Red Sox, number 47, the catcher.
5 seconds.
Jason Bartolo.
We're back at Fenway Park, heading to the bottom of the 4th. And the batter is Jason Varitek. Varitek, Darren Lewis, and Jose Offerman coming up against Bartolo Colon. Jason drops a bunt. Will it stay fair? Colon fields it, throws, not in time. A bunt base hit for Jason Varitek. Words I don't think we've ever spoken before, Jerry.
No, and I'll tell you what, not a bad idea because he had Fryman very deep down at third base. I think Colon had been better off letting this ball go because there's a chance it would have rolled foul. He had no chance to get Varitek at first base. Ex-Red Sox catcher Carlton Fisk used to get about 10 of those a year.
And as the Red Sox bat here in the 4th, we're pleased to be joined by the man who threw out the ceremonial first pitch today, Mark Whipple, the football coach at the University of Massachusetts. His team won the Division I AA National Championship this past college football season. Darren Lewis is the batter. Indians expect the bunt with Fryman tight at third. Coach, congratulations. An amazing season. You inherited a team that won 2 games the year before you arrived and won the national championship.
You know, it's just one of those magical seasons. Why sports are so great for everybody that you never know what's going to happen. And our kids just really stepped up, especially down the road in the playoffs. And anyway, you know, you look back, and it was those guys that made the plays. They made the plays, and I think our university has a lot to do with it, the state of Massachusetts, and everybody in New England. Hopefully we made everybody proud.
And obviously the coaching was a major factor as well. I have the list here, and it's too lengthy to read, of all the Coach of the Year awards you won last year. The bunt is foul, but just about every organization that gave out a National Coach of the Year award in Division I AA recognized Coach Whipple for what he did. We all read the articles, I think, that when you met your team and they're coming off their 2-9 season, you said to them the goal is to win the national championship, and many of them said they thought this guy must be a little wacky.
Well, I think if you're in sports and you're going to lead them, you got to have a little bit. You got to be a little bit wacky, and But they bought into it, and that's what it was. They believed in one another, and they believed in the coaching staff, and as coaches, we certainly believed in the players. And it was a magical, magical year, and we're hoping to repeat it, but you never know what's going to happen.
0-2 now on Lewis, and the fastball just missed.
Had a chance to watch that game on television, and did you expect that many points in the game?
Well, we knew they were they were exceptional on offense, and we did not think they were that strong, Jerry, on defense. And I told our offense that we were going to have to score. We're going to have to play very, very well, and nothing against our defense, but they had exceptional athletes, and that they were going to make plays. And our kids just handled the championship setting so well. You know, and we got ahead of them and just kept pouring it on them, and we knew they would come back because they were 14-0 in the second half, and our defense stepped up and had 7 turnovers and gave the offense the ball, and it was a tremendous team effort, and he kicked the ball really well. So, you know, it was just a wonderful, wonderful day.
My favorite play is the little end you got. I forget his name. But
Zulo.
Yeah, he's about my size. I love it.
I know. You're a lot bigger than he is, Jared.
Lewis sends one out of play to the right.
Yeah, he's a great, great kid. He won the national championship, and he's had a great year. He won the state championship in football in Florida, won the national championship in the 100-meter, and then won the national championship in football in his first year. So we got 3 years left of him, and I think you'll hear his name quite a few times. He's selected A-10 player of the year, rookie of the year.
You think you have a pretty good team coming back?
We think we have a chance to be pretty good because we've got everybody back on defense besides our linebacker, Kari Samuel, who just got drafted.
Now, I know you've talked about a rivalry with the University of Connecticut.
Yeah.
And just today in the paper, word that perhaps they'll be in Division 1A as soon as the year 2000. There's been some talk about that at UMass too.
Well, yeah, we're you know, obviously there's a lot more talk now than it was a year ago. You know, you don't know what happens. Will happen. Our athletic director kind of handles that more, Bob Markham. So we're just trying to field the best team that we can in 1AA, and you know, I'm sorry to see UConn go, but at least we get to play them again one more time, hopefully in the future. So it is a great, great rivalry.
Veritek running on the 3-2 pitch. Lewis worked from 0-2 to 3-2. Red Sox batting in the 4th, leading 1-0. And looking to add to that lead, we're chatting with Mark Whipple, the football coach at the University of Massachusetts, who threw out the first pitch today. You obviously worked on that. Some people just come out here and throw the ball, but you did a nice imitation of Louis Tiant.
Well, thank you. Nice. We almost slipped, but last night at 9:30 at night, I was having dinner with my wife at home. We had a scrimmage. I said, I got to do Louis Tiant. Called Chris Berman, who's a classmate of mine at Brown, and we talked it over. He says, if you're going to be a Fenway, that's what you got to do. So we did it. And with the Cleveland Indians here, I thought it was apropos. I almost slipped, but still had a little athleticism to get it over the plate.
Ball forward down in the way with Veritek running again. A nice at bat by Lewis. He started out trying to bunt. Couldn't get that done, but then worked Cologne for a walk. The second walk issued by the Cleveland starter. Now there are 2 men on base, rather, and we'll see how Jimmy Williams elects to play it with Jose Offerman coming up.
How many guys did you have drafted? I know.
Kari Samuel drafted by the Chicago Bears in the 5th round. Kerry Taylor, our tight end from Mansfield, Mass. Both those guys wanted to be here today because we were going to have them come out, and they said, "Oh man, what a dream to be on the field at Fenway." And then Jimmy Moore just says with the Patriots this weekend, I think he'll get signed down there. So 3 guys, and we're really proud of them. We're great, great kids and great representatives of our university.
Indians think Offerman's going to bunt. No sign of it there. He pulls one foul. It bounces over the Boston dugout. Offerman has doubled and scored the only run of this game in the 1st. He was intentionally walked in the 2nd. I want to get back to your first pitch for a minute. Not only the fine imitation of El Tiante, but you threw a fastball. I mean, that was 62. We had the radar gun set up down there. It was 62 miles an hour. For a ceremonial first pitch, might be the hardest one we can remember.
You know, my 5-year-old son, Austin, got on me. He said, you know, Dad, it was all right, but it did hit the sand. So I got it over the plate, but I wasn't going to let somebody hit it out. But a lot of fun. Just great to be here. This is just a perfect day in New England for baseball. And, you know, you look out here, it's why sports are so wonderful.
Yep.
I mean, it's just why they're so important to our society.
0-2 the count now on Offerman with Jeff Fry on deck.
Not surprised the bunt was not put on. Offerman swinging the bat probably better than any other Red Sox, and had a chance here maybe for a big inning against Cologne.
Yeah, they squandered a couple of chances, you know, that sometimes I think when you got a guy like Pedro on the mound, one's certainly not enough. Might be with him, though.
0-2 pitch, he fought it off. Yeah, that's the thing with these two pitches. You hate to squander any opportunities because usually you don't get many.
No.
As a hitter, these are the days you do not look forward to coming to the park when you have to face Martinez or Bartolo Colon. You know it's going to be a long afternoon.
Well, that's why they had second and third last inning, you know, and I said it was like a 3rd and 8. I looked at it. In the red zone, you don't get it, and then all of a sudden your field goal hits off the upright, and you come out of there. If they could just get something going here, it'd be great.
The 0-2 pitch missed.
I got to ask you about one kid from that great football factory of Weston High School, Tyler Lawback.
Oh, yeah. So he's done very, very well. He started as a sophomore at offensive guard, right guard. Really got better. He's had a really strong spring. And nice thing is he's got his junior year and senior year. We think he's got a chance. He might follow those other guys. He might get a chance to play at the next level. But a super, super kid, and we're really proud of him. And I know his parents are. And we'll take more of those guys any day of the week. They make us good coaches.
He was big in high school, and he's twice as big now.
1-2 pitch, he struck him out. Foul tipped into the mitt of Diaz. A big first out of the inning for Colon with his 6th strikeout of the afternoon.
Well, you may see something like a hit and run now with Jeff Fry. You still got the runners at first and second. Colon coming up with a strikeout on the high fastball.
Jeff Fry.
Fry usually has the ability to make contact. A hit and run, not a great play with a guy like Colon because he's a strikeout pitcher, but Red Sox may try to create something here.
And they've left 2 men on in each of the first 3 innings, and they have 2 men on again here in the 4th, leading 1-0. Fry doubled down the right field line to knock in the run in the first. He struck out swinging in the second. He takes strike 1 from Colon. Is there enough talent in Massachusetts? Is it the kind of program where if you could get the top kind of guys who are geared toward 1AA football, you could be a national contender?
Well, I think that you still need the thing you lacked in New England a little bit is just the speed factor. And you know, the linemen and the linebackers, yeah, I think you get those guys, but you need some of those kids from Florida down south.
It seems that's where everybody goes. The 1A coaches, the 1AA coaches, an amazing amount of talent in the state of Florida.
There, and you know, our quarterbacks from California, Todd Bankhead's a great kid, and then Jimmy Moore, who signed with the Patriots from Texas, and Adrian Zulis from Florida. So we've added some guys that way, but the nucleus is New England kids, and you know, certainly our run in the playoffs, beating 3 teams from the South, we saw how fast they were. We've got to get some of those guys. But, hey, the nucleus is going to be Massachusetts guys that are going to step up and make plays for us.
Fry in the hole 0-2. He slaps one foul.
Checking that bat. Cologne's broke about 4 bats already in this ball game.
That one might have stung a little bit.
Sounded like right toward the end, didn't it?
Lewis, the runner at first, and Veritek at second with 1 out in the 4th. The 0-2 from Colon. Fry fought off another tough pitch. He'll be followed by Nomar Garcia-Parra.
Certainly like to have some people on if he gets up. You know? Certainly like to give him an opportunity.
Malone's pace is really slowed here with the jam that he's in.
Had to have thrown a lot of pitches, Sean.
Last, we had the graphic a few minutes ago. He's up to 75. He's at 80 right now.
Yeah. Dave Berba yesterday in that same situation at this stage of the game.
And Berba threw 125 pitches in 5 innings. Chopped back to the mound. Colon goes to Wilson on to first for the double play. And another opportunity wasted by the Red Sox. Good job by Colon to get out of the jam. Coach Whipple, thanks so much for the visit. Congratulations on your success.
I look forward to coming back next year. Jerry,
Mark Whipple, the football coach at the University of Massachusetts, our guest. The Red Sox lead 1-0 after 4 here at Fenway. back at Fenway, where it remains 1-0. A frustrating day for the Red Sox offense. They've had all kinds of chances, but they've managed just one run. Here's the upcoming schedule for the week ahead for the Red Sox. They head onto the road right after today's game. They'll be in Minnesota tomorrow night and Tuesday night with 8 o'clock starts on Nesson. We are next with you on Wednesday afternoon at 1 for the series finale between the Red Sox and the Twins, and the road trip continues in Oakland after an off day Thursday. We are back with you Friday night at 10:30 and Saturday afternoon at 4 over most of these stations, and Nesson will have the Sunday series finale from Oakland. Top of the 5th, Jim Thome leads off and takes a strike from Pedro Martinez. Thome struck out swinging in the 2nd. One of 5 strikeouts for Martinez. He's allowed just 2 hits. Check swing. Strike, says third base umpire Dan Morrison.
The check swings have not been going in Thome's favor. A check swing for a strikeout back in the 2nd inning.
The 0-2 miss. Well, I enjoyed the visit with Mark Whipple. Admired from a distance what he did this past year. I mean, he was very modest and said the right things, and they did have some new players who obviously contributed greatly to the success. Offerman throws out Thome, but he did a terrific coaching job, he and his staff.
That's one of the greatest turnarounds in college sports all season long. I mean, that was unbelievable.
We check the scoreboard. Jason Giambi has hit a grand slam for Oakland, and the Athletics lead 6-0. Toronto has a 1-0 lead at New York on a home run by Sean Green. Seattle and Tampa Bay tied at 2. David Segui's 2 for 2 with a run batted in. Damian Easley has knocked in the 2 Detroit runs at Chicago. The Tigers lead 2-0. Anaheim and Kansas City rained out. Texas and Minnesota are scoreless early on. One strike. The count on Wilfredo Cordero, who flied to left back in the 2nd. 1-0 Boston in the 5th. Pedro won a 1-0 ball game in Detroit in his last outing. Breeze has been shifting all over the place. It's blowing out toward left right now. Time to time it's been blowing the other direction across toward right. It was blowing straight in for a while, straight out, now out toward left.
I prefer that way right now because that usually brings the warmer weather.
Yes, and it keeps the wind out of our booth.
Didn't want to mention that, but
well, I know that was reason number 1 that you had. It makes it warmer up here and also prevents our notes from blowing around all over the place. 1-2 on Cordero with David Justice on deck. Kind of a strange road trip coming up for the Red Sox. We just showed on the upcoming schedule. Minnesota, Oakland, and back home. You know, usually when you go out west, you hit the other West Coast stops in Anaheim and Seattle, but not this time.
We make 3 trips to the West Coast this year, which is very unusual. And you mentioned this one here. Then later on is a trip to Anaheim, and we don't get to Seattle till the month of September, I believe.
You are correct, sir. Look out. Did that hit him? It sounded like it hit something. It did. It hit Cordero.
Well, 2 guys hit in this game. Mike Stanley earlier by Cologne, now Cordero. Cordero stepped out a couple of times. You see Veritek setting up inside. He's trying to get that fastball up and in on Cordero, and I think just got a piece of that uniform top.
It just grazed him. So he's at first with 1 out for David Justice. He takes ball 1 up and away.
Pedro's time in the dugout, even though it's a 1-0 ball game, has been a long time between innings. This is taking Colon quite a bit of time to get through his work.
Ball 1. Justice popped the short his first time up. Now, if I recall, Pedro and Will Cordero were together in Montreal. I remember when Pedro first came, the town was talking about he wanted to be here for a little bit, see how he liked the city before he decided if he wanted to stay here long term. Part of his opinion of the city coming in was based on what he had been told by Cordero and what had happened with Cordero here. Two balls a strike now on Justice.
Even as successful as Pedro was a year ago, he still found it difficult in his first year here at Fenway.
He's very sensitive, and he occasionally heard boos last year, and that bothered him.
Different atmosphere, obviously, than anything he experienced in Montreal or in L.A. for that matter.
Well, it's different from Montreal in that there are actually fans here who care, and different from Los Angeles in that the people generally stay to the end of the game.
The people have fallen in love with Pedro right from the first start he made here at Fenway. At times, like everybody else, they get a little upset with you, but
that's why I was a little bit surprised by what Pedro said last year. Particularly early last season. You remember the atmosphere in the park with the Dominican flags out in the bleachers and the music playing, and sometimes it resembled a soccer crowd with the singing and chanting. Sorry to see that part of it's gone away. That added a lot of flavor to the ballpark. Full count on Justice with 1 out. We'll see if Cordero runs with the pitch, with the Red Sox leading 1-0 in the 5th. He does not, and Justice strikes out on a changeup from Pedro Martinez, his 6th strikeout of the afternoon.
Again, there's that confidence of throwing any pitch at any time, and on the 3-2 count, Martinez going to the changeup. Pedro adding to that league-leading total. Started out with 38, 6 now this afternoon. He's about a nice, comfortable 9-strikeout lead to start the game off over El Duque, who is second in the league.
2 outs. Cordero still at first for Travis Fryman, who takes ball 1 down and away. Fryman struck out swinging in the 3rd. Outfield around toward right for Fryman. Breeze has shifted again. Showed you the flag a moment ago, blowing out toward left. Now it's back, blowing in the other direction toward right field.
He's going to be driving the pilots nuts over at Logan Airport. Which way to take off?
The 2-1 pitch is popped up out of play to the right. And the count's now level 2-2 on Fryman. Pitch, he struck him out. Back-to-back strikeouts Pedro has fanned 7, has allowed just 2 hits through the first 5 innings. Halfway through the ball game, 1-0 Boston.
Boston Red Sox baseball is brought to you in part by Southwest Airlines. With fares so low, you have the freedom to go places or do things you never thought possible. Fly Southwest Airlines. And back at Fenway, the Red Sox have the 1-0 lead over the Indians. Pedro Martinez striking out the last 2 batters, Justice and Fryman, to get out of the 5th inning. Just what we expected here this afternoon. Low scoring. Only run, Red Sox back in the 1st inning on that double by Jeff Fry.
And they've had a lot of chances since against Bartolo Colon. The Red Sox have had at least 1 hit in every inning. They've left 7 men on and bounced into a double play. Now the big bats coming up: Garcia, Parra, Jefferson, and Stanley, the 3, 4, and 5 hitters. In the 5th, Nomar has grounded out twice. Once to the first baseman, Thome made a nice play on a backhand stop of a hard ground ball from Nomar in the 1st. He flipped to Colon covering. And in the 3rd, Garcia, Parra bounced to 3rd. First pitch from Colon, off speed and wide for ball 1. Another bouncer down to 3rd. Fryman to Thome for the out.
A lot of off-speed pitches to Nomar. A changeup to start him off, then that breaking ball for the 2nd time today he's grounded out to 3rd base. Both times on that curveball.
Now Reggie Jefferson, he's 0 for 2. Reached on a fielder's choice in the 1st and struck out swinging in the 3rd. Red Sox have 6 hits. Colon has walked 2, but he's also struck out 6. I think the police officer was called upon to make a play down there. I think the Red Sox giving a hard time. About to throw the book at him down there, it looked like. He had some book. Now the 1-1 pitch to Jefferson, a little bit up and away. Saw a couple of the Red Sox starting pitchers at the end of the dugout near the police officer, and the matchups are set for the upcoming Minnesota series tomorrow night on Nesson. Tim Wakefield at the end of the dugout there on the left against Brad Radke. Tuesday night on Nesson, Mark Portugal against Eric Milton. And we are next with you on Wednesday afternoon. Pat Rapp against Mike Lincoln. Foul to the left. Two balls and 2 strikes. Cleveland Indians 12-4. That's their best start since 1988. And they began the year 13-3. Strike 3. Fastball on the outside corner. Nothing Jefferson could do with that pitch. Just take it and hope it's called a ball.
He's made a couple of those today. The Red Sox hitters. Jefferson came in today 7 for 13 off Colon in his career, but Colon's had the upper hand in this one. Reggie 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. You see Pedro making those kind of pitches. They're unhittable. Reggie didn't quite agree with it, but 2 strikes, too close to take.
So Colon will try again for his first 1-2-3 inning of the afternoon. The Red Sox lead 1-0 in the fifth. Mike Stanley takes a ball high. He has singled to right and been hit by a pitch right around the left elbow, it appeared, back in the third. Two and 0. Chased the 90-mile-an-hour fastball up around the belt and couldn't get to it. 2-1 now on Mike Stanley. Boy is lofted deep in center. Actually, as we say it, he's taking a couple of steps in.
I think all the outfielders are watching that flag and trying to figure out, is it going to push it out towards center, push it toward right?
Right now it's blowing out again. Swirling wind here today. Low heat there. That was 95 miles per hour on the gun. See the flag pretty much hanging straight down the pole. A moment ago it was blowing straight out. Two and 2. 4 in a row retired by Colon for a total of 5 outs. That 1-6-3 double play that ended last inning was a big play. Now the 2-2. Outside, Diaz set up on the corner and Colon just missed. Colon's up to 94 pitches. His payoff pitch to Stanley is ball 4 high, so Mike's on base for the third time. That's the third walk surrendered by Colon. One of those an intentional walk to Offerman. Back in the second. Here's Troy O'Leary. Troy struck out swinging to end the first. He doubled to left and was stranded in the third. Red Sox lead 1-0 in the fifth. Stanley at first with 2 down. Tomey's playing behind him. Ball 1 up and away. Chopper, base hit. Stanley had to hold up to avoid getting hit by the ball, so he'll advance to second. And here come the Red Sox again. They extend their streak of having had at least 1 hit in every inning, and they have 2 men on with 2 outs for Damon Buford.
Colon tried to turn the fastball over. He did, away from O'Leary, but he's still able to hook the ball in that hole between first and second. Even with Tomey playing behind Stanley, not able to make the play on that.
Now Damon Buford, who's had a very tough time catching up to the fastballs of Colon. He's 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. Both third strikes were swinging strike 3s. Red Sox have 7 hits. Ball 1 high. Fastball on the corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Mentioned earlier, Cologne's out of the Indians Dominican school. Third player to make it to the majors from the school that they have in the Dominican Republic. Bartolo's brother Jose has pitched in the Dominican and the Indians school, and he's going to open this year in their rookie league team in Burlington, and they begin their season a bit later on. Where's Burlington, Iowa?
Burlington, Iowa, yeah. It used to be the Midwest League. Used to be A baseball. One time it was a Oakland Athletics minor league team.
The 1-2 to Buford. Strike three. He fans for the third time. Count looking at a fastball from Cologne. The Red Sox fan two more. They've left 9 men on through 5 innings. After 5, the Red Sox won and the Indians nothing.
Five complete from Fenway. The Red Sox have the 1-0 lead. The Boston Red Sox are now offering great group discount programs for the 1999 season. Bring your office, family, or any other group out to friendly Fenway this summer and save up to 50% off regular prices. For tickets and information, call Group Sales at 617-262-1915.
Pedro Martinez through 5 innings has struck out 7 without allowing a walk. He's given up 2 hits. And he'll face the number 9 hitter, Einar Diaz, to begin the third. Diaz is 0 for 1. We're going to go to the inane banter hotline here and chat with Joe Castiglione. Joe, are you there?
Hello, Joe.
Well, we would have loved to have you there yesterday.
Well, we understand it was just the royal wedding. We want all the details. First, a line drive toward the gap in right center by Diaz. Lewis racing to cut it off. And Diaz has a double, the first extra base hit. So the wedding went well. Your son, Duke, for those who don't know, got married, your eldest son, you and Jan. And his bride's name is?
Lovely Kiki Hammer from Wilbraham, Mass. And Kiki's a news producer at Channel 40, where Duke works in sports. And it was a wonderful wedding. The Amber family did a marvelous job, and we were very happy to have Kiki in our family.
Now, do you have the receipt to confirm that you actually did pay for the rehearsal dinner on Friday night?
And I'm getting you a copy of my credit card printout so that we can verify this. I also had a picture taken.
Wow.
Which is now being developed just to show you that, yes, the rehearsal dinner was on my tab.
Now, did the people go for the quarter pounders with cheese or the Big Macs?
The double cheese pizza.
Well, we're happy for you.
It was a lot of fun. Father McDonough at St. Michael's Cathedral in Springfield did a wonderful ceremony.
That's great. And where will the couple be?
The name was appropriate, too.
Where will the couple be honeymooning?
They'll be honeymooning in Paris.
Whoa.
The Riviera for a couple of days.
Whoa.
And make their residence in Agawam.
I guess the money's a little better in the Springfield TV market than I realized. The Riviera.
Well, they had some wedding gifts along the way that helped facilitate that. But everything went very well. Tom, Duke's younger brother, gave a very nice toast.
0-2 the count on Lofton. Well, Joe, congratulations. We're very happy for you and Jan and your family.
Joe Morgan said the toast, which was the American Pie version, because it went about 8 minutes. But it was very nice.
Well, we're sure. And we thank you for being a guest today on the Inane Panther Hotline. Well,
thanks very much, Sean. Thanks for thinking of us.
Okay, we wish we could have been there. See you later.
Take care.
Base hit up the middle. Out of the reach of Garcia Parra. It's going to tie up the ball game. Diaz around to score. And it's 1-1. Jerry, somehow you just had a feeling with the Red Sox blowing chance after chance to score here that it might prove costly. Long way to go in this one yet, but you can't keep wasting good chances because Pedro can't be perfect forever.
Well, Kenny Lofton has been tough this whole series against the Red Sox and took that fastball right up the middle. So a couple of quick hits, the double and now the single, and quickly this ball game tied up. Lofton last time was at first base, did not try to steal. We'll see now if he tries to keep the pressure on the Red Sox by trying to take second base.
Jeff Fry in tight at third now, thinking that Wilson might bunt. They pitch out. Just wonder why you would give up an out with a bunt when you have a guy like Lofton who's such a high percentage base stealer.
Well, he may have been doing that on his own too, Sean, just to try to hold that catcher back if it was not a pitch out, to give Lofton a chance to steal. Sometimes that's what those hitters will do, fake a bunt, pull the head of the bat right back into their face.
Martinez to the plate with ball 2 up and away.
And maybe the combination that Mike Hargrove does not feel comfortable with, the fact that Martinez throws hard, gets the ball to the plate fairly quickly, and Varitek has been throwing well.
The 2-0 to Wilson. There's a borderline strike.
Well, Joe said he wished we could have been there. Did you get an invitation?
I did.
Oh, see, I didn't.
Well, you don't have to send a gift, though. You know, there's the positives and minuses of everything.
Exactly. They go to Paris. They don't need a gift.
What do you get the couple that has everything? The 2-1 pitch is bunted out in front of the plate. Varitek will have to go to first. A low throw handled by Stanley. The sacrifice for Wilson. The play goes 2-3 on Enrique. So now Lofton, representing the go-ahead run, is at second with 1 out here in the top of the 6th inning.
Well, you make a good point. Why waste the out when you have a base stealer on there? But apparently not comfortable because he didn't go last time he was at first with Pedro. Did a lot of things to try to mess up his timing, and right here, the Indians more comfortable with the sacrifice to get Lofton to second. Now you really have to watch him closely because he's not afraid to take third base either.
Alomar fouls one at the plate.
Well, the other thing we don't know too, Sean, is from day to day it could be a tight hamstring or a tight quad and maybe not comfortable running that day.
Alomar's had a tough day. Bounced into a 6-4-3 double play in the first. He struck out with a man on in the 4th. The Indians have scored a run here in the 6th to tie it up at 1. Maynard Diaz began the inning with a double. Kenny Lofton singled him in. Now after a sacrifice, it's Lofton at second with 1 out. 0-1 on Alomar with Manny Ramirez on deck. Pop fly and shallow left center. And Buford dives. What a catch! Throw to second. Double play. The defensive play of the season so far for the Red Sox, made by Damon Buford, and the double play gets Pedro out of the inning. The Indians score just 1 run. We'll take another look at that play when we come back in the bottom of the 6th for the ball game tied at 1. Still a 1-1 game as we go to the bottom of the 6th. And Jason Varitek leads off against Bartolo Colon. Jason's 2 for 2 and takes a strike. He doubled to right in the 2nd, dropped a bunt base hit down the 3rd base line in the 4th. Red Sox have had at least 1 hit in every inning. They've stranded at least one runner in every inning. They've left 9 men on through 5, and they've hit into a double play. And the count is 0-2 on Veritek. He struck him out. Let's go back and take a look at the tremendous play by Damon Buford that ended the top half of the 6th inning.
Well, you mentioned, Sean, that Buford plays a deep center field, and he had a long way to go to make this play. 2 great plays. First of all, to make the catch, and then to be able to come up, see that he can get Lofton at second base, and somehow get that throw there in time to double up Kenny Lofton. And no help from his outfielders. He actually saw that all by himself and was able to make that play. Terrific. Well, hopefully a nice defensive play can spark the offense.
Darren Lewis chops one to deep first. Tomey feeds Cologne. 2 quick outs. Lewis is 0 for 2 with the walk. Let's pause now for station identification. You're watching Red Sox baseball on the JCS New England Television Network.
You're watching Red Sox baseball on Eastern and Central Maine's local sports leader. WABI-TV, Channel 5, Bangor.
With Jerry Remy, Sean McDonough at Fenway Park, the final game of this 3-game series, the final game of the brief homestand. The Red Sox and Indians, 1 win apiece this weekend. They're tied at 1 today. Jose Offerman doubled and scored the Red Sox run in the first, was intentionally walked in the second, struck out with a couple of men on in the fourth. Key to the Red Sox offense in the first 2 games of this series, the ability to come up with the big hit with men in scoring position. Yesterday was the big 2-out hit, but today that's been lacking again. Malone tried the back door and missed. 2-1. Paul Shuey warming up in the Cleveland bullpen. The 2-1. Grounded up the middle. Alomar smothered it. Then it slipped out of his hand as he went to make the throw. And Offerman's on for the 3rd time with his 2nd hit.
Alomar certainly covers a lot of ground out there at second base, but very seldom are you able to dive on a ball that's hit up the middle and into center field and throw a base runner out at first base, especially a guy with the speed of Offerman.
Number 3.
Not much gets by Alomar, does it, out there?
No.
Both to his right and to his left. Actually, better for him that he dropped that ball because he had no chance to play at first base.
Strike 1 on Jeff Fry, who doubled in the Red Sox run in the first. Since then, he has struck out and bounced into a double play. How do you suppose those sunglasses help Alomar?
On top of the hat?
On top of the hat. Not the flip down kind under the hat. You see so many players use.
You know, more and more players are going to those now, and a lot of them wear them at the plate to cut down on the glare, especially in these day games. I think he'll take a peek up. If he sees the sun's going to be a problem, then he would go ahead and put him back on.
The ball up and in. Maybe it's the mascot on the front of the hat who's looking for a little protection from the sun.
Maybe he's trying to wear that hat all season long. Doesn't want to get it faded and stuff. So we'll see that a lot, though, especially with outfielders. They'll, determine whether they need it in this inning, depending on where the sun is. And
that looks like strictly style points to me.
No, I don't think so, Sean.
1-1 pitch, a strike. Fry didn't like it. Had a frustrating time of it since his double in the first inning.
Well, both pitches in this game have made unhittable pitches at times to hitters, and that's certainly one there. I think it was made to look a little bit worse the way Diaz caught the ball.
Now 1-2. Offerman's running. The pitch, a ball. The throw from Diaz off the glove of Wilson, and Offerman is safe. That's the 4th stolen base of the season for Jose Offerman.
And this is probably the best throw that Diaz has made in this series to second base. A quick release, but you see the quick tag tried to be put on there by Wilson and did not have control of the baseball. Well, the Red Sox get a man in the scoring position with the 2 outs.
And now 2-2 on Fry. After yesterday's game, some of the Indian people said that one of the problems Diaz had throwing was that the wind was taking those throws up and away when he threw to second base. That might be.
Well, that's. I remember that one. That's a good one.
That was like the dog ate my homework.
He was that front shoulder of his was opened up a little too soon in those throws yesterday, and it was just sailing out towards second base in the outfield. That was a heck of a throw he just made there, though. Not an easy pitch to handle either. There he's having these problems, obviously, and it hasn't been windy every day. Did a great job, though, yesterday, blocking a number of split fingers in the dirt. He's been very solid behind the plate, but he has had his problems throwing over the weekend.
When Fry struck out in the second, he ended the inning, stranded 2 base runners, and then, of course, he hit in the 1-6-3 double play with men at first and second. That ended the 4th inning. He's bearing down, trying not to leave another man in scoring position. Offerman at second, 2 outs in a 1-1 game in the 6th. Cologne's 2-2 with Offerman running. Fouled out of play.
That's not a bad play by Offerman because they play very shallow against Jeff Fry, and the base hit, you know, it's still going to be a little difficult to score. Plus, in this kind of a game, you might cause an errant throw by Diaz at third base and end up scoring on that.
And Offerman appeared to have a good jump.
Infield is deep. They're spread out.
Outfielder around to right. Ramirez very shallow in right. The 2-2. Fastball missed, so Fry has battled out of a hole, and now the count is full. And should he reach, Nomar would have a chance to hit here in the 6th inning. Pitch on the ground in the hole. Great diving stop by Wilson. He faked the throw to first. That stop probably saved a run. It's an infield hit for Fry, and a terrific at bat put on by Jeff. A very nice play by Wilson.
That's a great play by the shortstop. Get the uniform dirty with that man in scoring position. And you see what he does after he makes the play. He makes a fake toward first base, hoping that Offerman will bite for that. He had no intention of throwing it, but Offerman just stayed right at third base. Oh, that's a big play at this stage of the ball game to keep that run from scoring. That'd have been close at home too, Sean, because Justice was shallow and he was putting a pretty good charge on the ball.
Phil Regan, the pitching coach, at the mound. Most of the infielders in there on the conversation as well. 117 pitches now for Cologne. And the Red Sox with a 2-out threat here with back-to-back infield hits. Offerman hit the ball up the middle. It was smothered by Alomar. He stole second, and Fry had the infield hit knocked down by Wilson. So here's Nomar. 0 for 3 on 3 groundouts. The last 2 went to the third baseman Travis Fryman. Trying to put the Red Sox back on top. Red Sox led 1-0 after an inning and had that lead until the top of this inning when the Indians scored their run. First pitch to Nomar. Fastball high, ball one.
Kind of situation, Sean, if Nomar gets to 2 strikes, you may see an attempt at a double steal. They got speed at both spots.
One-0 pitch, another high fastball. Nomar tried to rip it and missed it. Not only have the Red Sox had at least 1 hit in every inning, they've had at least 2 base runners in every inning. They've scored just once. They have 2 more base runners in this inning, the 6th. Time requested by the catcher Diaz, who wants to go chat with Bartolo Colon. Shuey has company now in the bullpen. Mark Langston, who's been bothered by an elbow injury, is warming up. The veteran lefty, once one of the best starters in Major League Baseball. Well, 1-1 to Garcia-Parra. Ball low. Look out. Another fine play by Diaz on a 92-mile-per-hour fastball. That's a very tough play for a catcher. And he saved a run. That one looked like it was heading for the screen.
Yeah, he tried to throw this one right through the wall, and fortunately Diaz was able to get that glove up quick enough. You're right, Sean. That is a tough play, especially a guy throwing that hard. You know, this the way Colon's going today. Now he's liable to come back with a nasty pitch during the 3-1.
Travis Fryman into the mound for a brief word with Colon. Offerman, the runner at third, and Fry at first. Excellent speed on the bases for the Red Sox. 1-1 the score in the 6th inning. And the crowd roaring in anticipation of the big 3-1 pitch from Colon. Here it comes. In the air and left. Pretty well hit. Justice on the edge of the warning track makes the catch. Well, we talked about the shifting breeze. For a while today it was blowing out. But right now it's blowing back in from left. And you can see it knock down that ball. Red Sox strand 2 more. They've left 11. After 6, the Indians won and the Red Sox won.
Back at Fenway, it's all tied at 1 through 6 innings. And both runs scoring. Jeff Fry and a double back in the 1st inning to score Jose Offerman. That's the Red Sox run. And in the 6th inning, Kenny Lofton with a base hit up the middle to score Diaz, who led off the inning with a double. And that's all the scoring in this ball game this afternoon.
The Red Sox have had many more chances than the Indians. The Indians have stranded just 2 base runners, while the Red Sox have left 11. 16 strikeouts combined between the 2 pitchers. And we fast forward ahead to the 7th inning. Pedro Martinez missed low and away to Manny Ramirez, who was struck out and bounced back to the mound. Ramirez, Tomey, and Cordero, the middle third, coming up for the Indians. Just about every inning in the dugout for Pedro has been a long one, because the Red Sox have threatened and Colon's worked very slowly in every inning this afternoon.
And throughout that all, he's been able to pretty much keep his rhythm in this game.
It's 2-0 to Ramirez. Foul ball off the end of the bat. fastball. Back Ramirez off the plate. Three and one. Martinez has not issued a walk. He has hit a batter. That was Cordero in the fifth. 3-1 pitch. Here's the fastball right past him at 91 miles per hour. Payoff pitch. He struck him out. Pedro was facing a 3-1 count. Just said, okay, I'm going to throw you a couple fastballs, see if you can catch up with them, and Ramirez could not. That's 8 Ks for Martinez. On the National League scoreboard, Houston and Cincinnati are tied at 5. Bagwell and Caminiti have hit home runs. The 5th for Jeff Bagwell. Philadelphia leads Montreal 4-2. Rico Brogna 2 runs batted in. More scores in a moment. First, the ball low to Jim Thome. Milwaukee has a 3-1 lead against Pittsburgh. The Mets on homers by Alfonso and Ventura lead the Cubs 2-0. The rest of the action is later on. Atlanta and Florida, Arizona, San Diego, Colorado and San Francisco, St. Louis and Los Angeles. The 2-0 to Thome is a strike. Thome struck out in the second, grounded to second in the fifth. 1 out, bases empty in the 7th. 1-1 the score. Strike 2, the breaking ball, the inside corner.
A lot of change-ups. Now the curveball of Thome in this at bat. See if he tries to go up and away with a fastball. Maybe up and in.
The 2-2 is up and in, and it just missed. Now oohing and eyeing in anticipation. Strike 3. Payoff pitch outside. First walk given up by Pedro. No big surprise it would go to Thome. He walks with great regularity. 17 times this season now. He's 3rd in the American League in that category, behind Jose Cruz Jr.'s 22 and Albert Bell's 18. Alfredo Cordero. Slide to left in the second, was hit by a pitch that just barely grazed the front of his uniform, it seemed, back in the 5th inning. 0 for 1. Thome held at first by Stanley. Martinez throws strike 1, breaking ball right over the middle. Fastball bounced down the line. Fair ball. Fry to Offerman. And they get Thome. Wasn't hit sharply enough to turn 2.
Fry gets a nice high hop and just try to get that lead runner, keep him out of scoring position in this 1-1 game. No intentions of turning a double play for either Fry or Offerman on that, but just get that lead man. You see, Jeff didn't need a cutoff man there for that over second base. He's got a line a day.
He really does. He missed it earlier. Jerry mentioned the top of the telecast when Fry was asked about playing third today. Said he worried about his arm, wondered if he needed a cutoff man to get the ball across the first. No problems over there today for Jeff Fry. David Justice took strike 1. He has popped out and struck out. 7th inning, a 1-1 game. Now Cordero at first, held by Stanley. The ball down and away. And Pedro has had, it seems, excellent focus and concentration today here, Jerry. He just looked totally zoned in on the catcher's mitt and little else.
Now, what a challenge for any pitcher to face this lineup. And certainly I think they get very keyed up when they get a chance to work against the terrific lineup of the Indians.
This will be pitch number 102 from Martinez, and it's a strike. And a count of a ball and 2 strikes on Justice.
The pitch count much lower for Pedro now this stage in when the Detroit game the last time out. One of the reasons Jimmy Williams took him out of that ball game. Up over 120 pitches.
Pedro was surprised Jimmy took him out. He said, I thought he was just coming out to talk to me. But the bullpen did the job on Tuesday in Detroit. 0-2 pitch in the dirt, scooped out by Baratek. Throw down to first, and Cordero went lunging back toward the bag. Now 2-2 on Justice. Should he reach, Travis Fryman would hit next. Cordero's running. The pitch is strike 3. 9 strikeouts for Martinez. He's getting some votes for mayor out in the bleachers today. 7th inning stretch. The Indians won and the Red Sox won. Seventh inning stretch here at Fenway. Rich Giglio, the organist, entertaining the crowd here during the 7th inning stretch. 1-1 is the score, and we remind you that this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Boston Red Sox and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Boston Red Sox.
Ladies and gentlemen, your
new pitcher, Bartolo Colon, out after 6 innings. He dodged a lot of bullets in 6 innings, and here's Paul Shuey.
Shuey's been outstanding so far this season for Cleveland, making his 11th appearance. Only 6 hits in 11 innings, 16 strikeouts, and only 2 walks. Opponents hitting 150. He worked on Friday, first game of this series, 2/3 of an inning, a couple of strikeouts in that ball game for Shuey.
Colon threw 122 pitches, 76 of them strikes. He went 6 innings and gave up 1 run on 9 hits and 3 walks. He hit a batter. He struck out 9. The strikeout certainly helped him out of some jams. The Red Sox have just not been able to come up with a timely hit today. They've left 11 men on base through 6 innings. Had at least 2 base runners in every inning. Had at least 1 hit in every inning. Middle third of the order, Jefferson, Stanley, and O'Leary. Reggie took ball 1. He's 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts against Colon. Shuey tied him up. The bouncer handled by Alomar. The flip to Tomey for the out.
Struggled the last couple of days, but Jefferson 0 for 4 today, was 0 for 3 in the ball game yesterday.
Stanley.
He had been hot prior to that. Mike Stanley working on a perfect day. He has singled, been hit by a pitch, and walked. Been on base all 3 times. Shuey throws a breaking ball that just missed. And noted throughout the weekend, the Indians bullpen has been very good this season. Rich DeLucia had a tough outing yesterday, but we came to find out after the game that he might have had an excuse. He flew in yesterday morning from Rochester upon being called up. He was in Buffalo, couldn't get a flight here that would get him in time, so he drove to Rochester and took a plane. And got into his very first game with his new team, the Indians. As Jerry said, Shuey's been dominant out of the bullpen this season. Stanley drives one deep left center and off the top of the wall. It'll be a double for Mike Stanley. It just missed a home run, and Earlier in the day when that wind was blowing in the other direction, it would have been a home run. But once again, he hit one into the teeth of a strong wind. Hit one into a much stronger wind yesterday and got one out of here amazingly just about the same part of the ballpark.
Yeah, it sounded as good as the one yesterday. It was heading in the same direction as the one yesterday, but not quite high enough. Right up that top of that wall. Stanley in the second base with the double.
His third double of the year. Another perfect day for Stanley, on base 4 times.
The left fielder, Troy O'Leary.
And now Shuey in danger of surrendering the tie in a 1-1 game here in the 7th. The batter, Troy O'Leary. He has struck out, doubled, and singled. 2 for 3 to raise his average up to 281. He'll be followed by Damon Buford. Ball 1, low and away. Paul Shuey, a North Carolina native, still lives in North Carolina. Bounces one up there. Blocked by Diaz, 2-0. Shuey's 28 years old. 6'3", 215 pounds. Went to the University of North Carolina for 3 years. Majored in speech communications there. Pitched in the Pan Am games for the U.S. national team in Cuba in '91. Now they're going to walk O'Leary. Get to the right-handed swinging Buford. Set up a double play possibility. Cleveland pitchers have walked 4 today. 2 of those ordered up by Mike Hargrove. One of the 3 walks issued by Cologne was intentional. And now this free pass given by Shuey. So it's Stanley at second and O'Leary at first. And Damon Buford trying to turn his offensive day around. 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. He drives one foul down the left field line.
As Jimmy Williams a little bit short on that bench today, as John Valentin, who you mentioned at the top, is sick. And then you have Nixon, who has struggled at the plate. Donnie Sadler, who you would probably use as a pinch runner maybe a little bit later on if it was necessary. And Lou Maloney. Peyton Gubanek. Excuse me, Gubanek.
Foul. Ouch. Got a piece of Diaz.
He's had some series behind the plate. Not much has got by him, but that time the ball got a piece of him.
The 0-2 in the dirt, blocked by Diaz out in front of the plate. Stanley started toward third, then realized he had no chance. The ball didn't get far away from Diaz.
He has definitely saved some runs, no question about that, for his pitching staff. Not the easiest to catch either. You remember yesterday, Berber with a lot of split-fingered fastballs bouncing in the dirt like that. Same thing with Shuey here.
Now the fans doing the wave. 1-2 pitch. Little fly ball in shallow right. Ramirez can't get there. The runners had to hold up to see if it would be caught. So it's station-to-station baseball. The bases are loaded.
Even as a base runner, you check the outfield to see how deep they're playing, but it's almost impossible to make a quick judgment on a fly ball like this. You know, it's high enough where that outfielder Ramirez has a chance to maybe come in and make the play. So as a base runner, you've got to kind of hang close to second base, and because of that, only 1 base at a time.
Yet another great scoring opportunity for the Red Sox. Another inning in which they've had at least 1 hit and at least 2 base runners. That's been the case in every inning today. The bases are loaded for Boston. Jason Varitek has doubled, had a bunt single, and struck out, looking for his first hit ever with the bases loaded in the major leagues. 0 for 8. He took ball one, a breaking ball from Shuey. Red Sox now have 11 hits. 1 run on 11 hits for the Red Sox, 1 run on 4 hits for Cleveland. Neither team has made an error. 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. 7 of the 11 men stranded have been left in scoring position. And the Red Sox have hit into a double play. 1-1 pitch, a bullet and a fair ball down the line. That will score at least 2. Buford is being waved around trying to make it 3. And now he stops. It's a 2-run double by Varitek. And the Red Sox lead 3-1 on Varitek's first ever hit with the bases loaded.
Well, big day for Jason Varitek. A couple of doubles, a bunt base hit. But none bigger than this. Right down that first base line. 2 are definitely going to score. Ramirez, played the ball clean off the wall, and that's going to hold Buford at third base. They was first waving him on, but then when they saw the pickup by Ramirez and the good relay throw, they had to put the brakes on Damon Buford. 2 outs, they may have tried it, but not with the 1 out.
And now the Indians bring the infield in.
Squeeze maybe, Sean?
Interesting thought. Speed at third. Good bat handler and bunter and Lewis at the plate. Dave Joust, the first base coach, asking for time. They might have had it on and maybe the signs were being missed.
Yeah, you know what happens when you get an exciting time like that, the crowd's into it, things are happening, guys are run over, you try to catch them by surprise and do it right away, and I think you're right. Somebody might have missed the sign.
You saw Varitek on the shot we had hollering at Buford. And then Dave Joust started jumping up and down the first base coach's box, and he asked for time. Doubtful you'd do it now after all that. But maybe you would. It'd be an excellent bluff. Infield in. Outfield around toward right. Lewis takes a Shuey fastball for strike 1. Barron's 0 for 2 with a walk, 2 ground outs. Breaking ball and a good one. 0-2. He struck him out on 3 pitches.
Let's see if they walk off him in here with first base open to load the bases. 3 pitches to Darren Lewis. Last one, hard to tell what it was. Maybe the splitter. Picks up the strikeout, big strikeout. And I think they will walk off him in with first base open, take their chances with Jeff Fry.
So Jose will be intentionally walked for the 2nd time today. And he'll reach base for the 4th time with 2 hits and 2 walks. Got a double, an infield single, the 2 intentional walks, a stolen base, a run scored for Offerman. Very productive again as the leadoff hitter. And they'll load the bases with 2 outs and pitch to the right-handed swinging Jeff Fry.
4 intentional walks already for Offerman. That's unusual for a leadoff hitter.
So here's Fry. Jeff doubled to knock in a run in the 1st. He struck out in the 2nd. Bounced into a double play in the 4th. Had an infield hit last inning. 7 for 28, a .250 hitter in his career with the bases loaded. He's the 8th batter of the inning against Paul Shuey. No action in the Cleveland bullpen, and strike 1 thrown to Fry. 3-1 Red Sox in the 7th. They've out-hit the Indians 12-4. The ball just inside. Foul ball off the end of the bat. One and two. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Back-to-back strikeouts of Lewis and Fry to limit the damage for Shuey. Intentional walk to Offerman in between. The Red Sox get 2 on the double by Varitek, and after 7 it's 3-1 Boston. The Red Sox on a 2-run double by Jason Varitek have taken a 3-1 lead into the 8th inning. Red Sox leave right after the ball game, head to Minneapolis for action against the Twins at the Metrodome Monday and Tuesday nights at 8 on NESN. We're with you next on Wednesday afternoon at 1 for the series finale with Minnesota over most of these stations. Then after an off day Thursday, Red Sox are in Oakland Friday night. We'll have that game for you at 10:30 and Saturday's game as well at 4. Sunday's game at 4 o'clock is on NESN. There's a Monday game on NESN as well. And the Red Sox return back home. So Pedro Martinez is pitching with a 2-run lead for the first time today. The Indians have managed just 4 hits against Pedro. Travis Fryman, the number 8 hitter, leads off. Takes a breaking ball for a strike and casts a quick glance and a couple of comments in the direction of Ed Hickox. Fryman has struck out twice already, both times swinging. Martinez is fan 9. He's 1 strike away from making it 10. And from making Fryman a victim for the 3rd time.
Sit down, Travis. Welcome to the dugout.
Pedro, the chance to strike out 10 for the 3rd straight start. But Fryman pops this one up very high behind second base. Offerman wants it. Buford hollers him away. One out of the 8th. Time to check the American League scoreboard. Oakland still leads Baltimore 6-2 with a grand slam from Jason Giambi. Chili Davis has knocked in 2 runs to the Yankees. They now lead Toronto 2-1. Seattle and Tampa Bay tied at 4 in the 6th. Detroit has a 5-1 edge on Chicago. The White Sox are trying to win their 7th straight. Anaheim and Kansas City were rained out. And Texas leads Minnesota 6-0. Todd Zeile has hit his 5th home run of the year and has knocked in 3 runs. And the catcher, Enar Diaz, took a ball. He scored the Cleveland run. He led off the 6th with a double into right center. Scored on a single by Kenny Lofton. 2-0. Little chin music. And that sets up the next pitch on the outside corner.
Well, Pedro's still around 90, 91 with the fastball.
Three and 1 now. This is one of the very few days since Tom Gordon was injured that you start to think this would be the kind of day that would be perfect for him. Haven't been many save situations since he aggravated the elbow injury. A well-hit ball toward the wall. O'Leary leaps. Another terrific catch in the outfield by the Red Sox today. Buford, a great play earlier, and now O'Leary, the leaping catch to take a double away from Diaz.
O'Leary has really learned how to play that wall terrific out here in left field, and he knew that he had a chance to make this play. It was toward the end of the bat for Diaz. O'Leary right back to the wall. Looked like after making the catch when he landed, might have turned the ankle over a little bit, but right up against the padding to make the play. Yeah, outfield defense has been pretty nice today for the Red Sox.
Yeah, the play by Buford was huge in a 1-1 game back in the 6th inning. Lofton slashes one away. It's another ball that might have been knocked down a little bit by the wind as well to give O'Leary a chance. 2 quick outs. Lofton 2 for 3, 2 singles, and the only RBI for the Indians today. He's had 6 hits in the series. Breaking ball for strike 2, 0-2. Martinez back quickly with the 0-2. It's high. Pedro struck out 9 batters in each of his first 2 starts at Kansas City and at Tampa Bay. Then 10 against the White Sox and 10 at Detroit, trying to make it 10 today. Lofton fouled one away.
He's pitching this game right now like he wants to finish it off, too.
Yep. There is action in the bullpen behind him. One-two pitch. Chopped up the middle. Pedro couldn't get it. Offerman can, but has no play. And Lofton has another hit.
Yeah, well, he had them all set up for the changeup after a couple of high fastballs. He threw the changeup, but still Lofton able to make the contact up over the glove of Pedro. And, of course, once that happens, it's going to be a base hit for Kenny Lofton. Not bad, huh? 3 hits for Lofton in the afternoon against Martinez after getting struck out the first inning.
Kenny has 3 of the 5 Cleveland hits. The only others singles by Wilson in the first and a double by Diaz in the 6th. He's now hitting .403 as Lofton.
I was just thinking Kenny Lofton has to be happy Randy Johnson's over in the National League now. They had their battles, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
How about you, Case?
Involving some pitches up and in around the head of Lofton. Enrique Wilson, the tying run at the plate. Joe Kerrigan, a brief visit to the mound. Now Martinez misses low and away. Wilson, we mentioned earlier, singled in the first inning. Fly to center in the 4th, had a sacrifice bunt in the 6th. This will be the 119th pitch thrown by Martinez, and it's slashed to shallow right. Could be in a tough spot. Offerman, nice catch. What an inning the Red Sox had in the field. The over-the-shoulder catch with his back to the infield made by Offerman. Not long after the nice leaping grab by O'Leary in left. Martinez out of the inning unscathed with plenty of help from his friends. You're watching Red Sox baseball on the JCS New England Television Network.
Cleveland a 1 run at this stage of the ball game. You need a combination of good pitching and good defense, and the Red Sox have had that this afternoon. Jose Offerman with the latest good play. The over-the-shoulder catch to take a possible base hit away from Wilson. So 2 good plays in that inning, 2 terrific plays. The one by O'Leary and now Offerman. Pitching and defense.
Paul Shuey throws ball 1 to Nomar Garcia-Parra. Red Sox trying to collect some insurance runs here, make it a little bit easier for Pedro in the 9th. It looks like it will be Pedro. There is no action in the bullpen right now. Shuey missed low. 2-0. Garcia-Parra, a quiet day, 0 for 4. On a day when the Red Sox have piled up 12 hits. Strike at the knees.
It's only 3 pitches in the American League with complete games. Chris Carpenter at Toronto, Sorotka at Chicago, and of course Mark Portugal, that complete game against Detroit.
Breaking ball for strike 2. And Pedro trying to pitch his first complete game of the year. And the Red Sox second as a team. Fly ball to right. Ramirez drifting toward the line. Makes the catch about knee high.
A long afternoon for Nomar today. 0 for 5 in this ball game. That's after a 3-hit performance yesterday.
Number 18, the designated hitter, Reggie Jefferson.
One out, Reggie Jefferson. He's 0 for 4. Grounded to second. Alomar to his knees. Throws to first for the out. The Red Sox 3 and 4 hitters are combined 0 for 10. The Red Sox still have 12 hits.
Number 24, the first baseman, Mike Stanley.
2 of those hits belong to Mike Stanley. He's been on base all 4 times. Mike singled to right in the first, was hit by a pitch in the third, walked in the fifth, doubled to center, and scored the go-ahead run in the 7th on the Jason Varitek 2-run double. Shuey drops in a breaking ball. Meat of the order coming up for Cleveland in the 9th. The 3, 4, and 5 hitters, Roberto Alomar, Manny Ramirez, and Jim Thome. Ball in the dirt. Now Derek Lowe has started warming up in the Red Sox bullpen. Ball runs way inside on Stanley. Shuey is the pitcher of record. He came into a 1-1 game last inning and gave up the 2 runs. Breaking ball dropped over. Stanley thought it was low. Shuey.
Wow.
What happened to him?
He turned over an ankle after making that pitch.
Jim Moorfield, longtime trainer. Coming out.
So his ankle turnover. I don't know if his ankle or the knee causing that to happen, but
you might have him throw a pitch or 2 here and see if he's all right. And stretching, grabbing at the back of his left leg. And as they take a look at Shuey, let's pause for station identification. You're watching Red Sox baseball on the JCS New England Television Network.
This is WABI TV Channel 5, Eastern and Central Maine's home for Boston Red Sox baseball.
Shuey threw 1 pitch, shook his head no, handed the ball to Mike Hargrove, and he'll head off with Jim Moorfield. So there'll be a new pitcher for the Indians, and they'll have as much time as they need to get that new pitcher ready. I wonder what the record is for pitchers in a series who've had as much time as they need to get ready, because between the brawls and the ejections the other night and injuries, we've seen this a bunch of times.
it's hard to tell exactly what Shuey did to him. Maybe a hamstring started to pop on him, and that's the reason he got the ankle turned over in that delivery. But he made 1 pitch after that, and no way he could continue on. He's had a number of injuries throughout his career.
Doesn't look to be an excruciating pain there in the dugout, but it's enough to cause concern. Have him leave. He's chatting with Phil Regan, the pitching coach. Steve Carsey is going to be the new pitcher. He'll take all the time he needs to warm up, as he did the other night when he came into the brawl game. 3-1 Red Sox in the 8th. Back in a moment. Back at Fenway, the Red Sox lead 3-1 in the bottom of the 8th. Paul Shuey just left with an apparent left leg injury. So Steve Carsey is warming up, and he'll take as much time as he needs to get ready. Red Sox have played excellent defense behind Pedro Martinez today. This was Damon Buford in the 1-1 game with Kenny Lofton at second base and 1 out. A terrific sliding catch, and the throw to second, a double up Lofton. And Troy O'Leary at the wall, the leaping catch on Diaz, and then the play that just ended at the top of the 8th. Jose Offerman, the over-the-shoulder catch on the pop fly in shallow right. Pedro appreciated the fine play behind him. Well, by our count, this is at least 4 times in this series that new pitcher has had all the time that he needs. Carsey faced that situation Friday night when he came in, when Jarrett Wright was ejected. Then when Riel Cormier was tossed for the Red Sox, Jim Corsi had all the time he needed. Yesterday, Brett Saberhagen left, and Tim Haricola came in with all the time that he needed to get loose, and now Carsey again.
Pedro Martinez would probably like to get back on that mound as quick as possible and not sit around while all this is going on. But obviously one of those things in the game. Carsey got to take his time warming up, and he may be in here for just 1 pitch. He's going to come into a 3-2 count with 2 outs. Probably thinking right now what pitch he's going to throw in that situation. Quick 3 innings in the game on Friday against Boston. This will be his 8th appearance of the season.
Tough spot for the pitcher, I would think, here, Jerry. You come in, the whole ballpark's sitting around. Everybody's waiting for you. Usually when you warm up, you're just down there in the bullpen. Carsey, much of his career, starter. He's used to taking 20 minutes, perhaps, to warm up as a starter. He's also had major elbow problems and major surgery during his career, so he wants to be careful.
Plus, mentally, you're down in that bullpen, and you see a 3-2 count, 2 outs. There's no activity. You're not expecting to have to even get up to throw in an inning, but here you are. It's almost like shooting foul shots at halftime at a game. You know, you're out there nervous in front of the crowd.
Well, Jim Corsi said the other night he didn't take enough time to warm up when he came in. He was still experiencing the adrenaline rush from running in and out of the bullpen twice and taking part in 2 benches clearing situations. And he wasn't quite ready to go when he gave up the gopher ball to Cordero. You see Derek Lowe warming up, and I think you raised a good point. With this increasing the time that Martinez is in the dugout, it probably increases the likelihood that Jimmy Williams would make a change.
Yeah, we'll have to see, Sean. They may let Pedro go out there, and but maybe if there's a base runner allowed early, he might have to make the move then. But I don't think there's any doubt that Pedro wants to finish this one off. And I think at the beginning of this inning, Lowe was just out there just in case. But now, with the delay, we'll have to see how they play this.
Carsey's ready to go. He comes in with 2 outs and the bases empty in the bottom of the 8th, and a 3-2 count on Mike Stanley, with Troy O'Leary on deck. 3-1 Boston. The hits 12-5 in favor of the Red Sox. No errors in the game. The first pitch from Carsey might be the only pitch from Carsey, as Jerry predicted. Stanley strikes out, and that ends the inning. Last chance for the Cleveland Indians coming up with their big bats due up, and it will be Pedro Martinez heading back to the hill with a 3-1 lead. Boston Red Sox baseball is brought to you in part by Southwest Airlines. With fares so low, you have the freedom to go places and do things you never thought possible. Fly Southwest Airlines. And by your friendly Dodge dealer. From cars to minivans to trucks, it's about change, the new Dodge. Three to 1 is the score. As we head to the 9th, Red Sox grab the quick lead in the 1st. The Indians tie them up in the 6th, and the Red Sox got 2 in the 7th. And Pedro Martinez is trying to pitch his first complete game of the season, and his first since last July when he had a 1-0 win over the Indians. Robbie Alomar fouls the first pitch away. Alomar 0 for 3 today. He hit that pop fly on which Buford made the great catch in the 6th and turned it into a very big double play when the Indians were threatening to take the lead. And Pedro came out of the dugout head back to the mound for the ninth. He got a very warm round of applause from this appreciative crowd. They were delighted to see him come back out. They want to see him finish it. 1-1 pitch hit in the air and centered. Turns into a routine fly for Buford. And 1 out for Martinez in the ninth.
I did notice too, Sean, they allowed Pedro to take a few extra warm-up throws at the beginning of that inning because of the injury. Usually they're allowed 8, but it looked like Martinez maybe get up to around 10 or 11.
Well, that's only fair.
That's right. It wasn't his fault the guy got hurt.
That's right. Manny Ramirez, 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts and a comebacker back to the mound. 1 out in the ninth, 3-1 Red Sox. They're trying to make it 2 out of 3 over the Indians. What was wrong with that pitch?
Not the time to be missing calls.
No. That was just about as much of a strike as a pitch can be. 1-0 pitch. Same spot. This one called a strike.
Can't blame Ramirez for not swinging. He thought it was a ball after the last one.
Pedro all business today. His 1-1 pitch is fouled off. And again, he's 1 strike away from his 10th strikeout of the afternoon. That would be 3 straight games with 10 Ks. The 1-2 pitch. Ramirez managed to hold up. He started to pull the trigger at that high fastball. The 2-2 ripped down the line. That's a fair ball. All the way down into the left field corner. Ramirez has a double, and all of a sudden the Indians will get the tying run to the plate. And Jimmy Williams has a decision to make. Well, 126 pitches thrown by Martinez.
I think he's going to stay with Pedro here. I'd be very surprised to see him take him out.
Tying run at the plate. That's the 6th hit given up by Martinez. And here's Jim Thome. 0 for 2 with a walk. Runner at second means very little. They need to focus on keeping Thome off the base paths.
Yep, and all his outfielders get that ball in a second base on any kind of base hit.
1-0 pitch in the air in center field. Sounded like it was off the end of the bat. Buford slides and makes the catch. Another nice play. We talked, Jerry, about how deep he plays, and on that ball, doubly difficult for Buford because it's difficult to judge the one off the end of the bat.
Yeah, you've got the big power hitter. You see the big swing, but it's toward the end of the bat and kind of a soft line drive. Buford again covers a lot of ground to make another fine play. That's probably one of the toughest plays for a center fielder, with the exception of the line drive directly over their head.
Fans on their feet. At one moment cheering Martinez in anticipation of the final out. The next second booing lustily as Cordero is introduced. First pitch to Wilfredo. Strike on the outside corner. There'd be no better way for this weekend to end for these fans than to see Martinez strike out Cordero. 1 strike pitch. Base hit, right field. They'll hold the runner. And now, with the Red Sox conceding the run, Ramirez comes around to score. Jeff Newman had the arms in the air. He wasn't going to take any chance, but once they realized the Red Sox weren't going to make a play, Ramirez came in. It's 3-2. Jimmy's at the top step, and he's going to hear some boos. And Pedro's looking right at him with an expression that says, I hope you're not coming out here to take me out. Cordero's base hit makes it a 1-run game. He's had an excellent weekend.
Pedro, he doesn't want to give the baseball up. I'm fine. I can finish this one off. So if you took me out last time, please don't take me out this time.
Now Jimmy Williams has let the people have their man. And if the next guy hits a home run, these same people will be calling the talk show saying, why didn't they take him out?
Baseball in Boston.
David Justice, the batter, the tying run at first. Justice 0 for 3. He's had just 1 hit this weekend. This is pitch number 132 outside. He's still throwing in the low 90s, as he has been all day.
How about that piece of hitting by Pedro that time on a breaking ball, just making contact, driving it to the opposite field for the base hit. Outfield is very deep now, trying to keep the ball out of a gap and allowing that run to score from first base.
Stanley holds Cordero. The 1-0 pitch. Fouled back. Over by the Cleveland on-deck circle, where Travis Fryman stands. He would hit next if Justice can keep the Indians alive. 3-2 Red Sox with 2 outs in the ninth. Cordero the tying run at first. The 1-1 from Martinez. Strike 2, the breaking ball.
Now, the last 2 times that he struck out Justice, it has been on the changeup. Let's see if he change-ups and goes back to the fastball. Well, he got the fastball both in and out, and he got the change-up from Veritek. Took him off both times.
The crowd roaring. Justice asked for time.
That's the curveball.
On a 1-2 pitch. Oh my goodness. Just inside. On a day when Martinez has been outstanding, that's the close call you sometimes get when you pitch as he has, but it did appear to be just inside. Now the 2-2 in the dirt. The count is full, and Cordero will have the added advantage of being off with the 3-2 pitch with 2 outs. Now a well-placed hit could easily score him from first.
Here's a case at first base when you're holding the runner on. You don't want to get too far behind him and allow him to get 3 or 4 extra steps. And you see Stanley dropping back.
Comes down to this pitch. He struck him out. A tremendous performance by Pedro Martinez, going the distance. 137 pitches, and it ends with his 10th strikeout. And he fanned David Justice with a tying run running from first. And the Red Sox have taken 2 out of 3 this weekend from the Indians. Final score, the Red Sox 3, Cleveland 2, the totals and more from Fenway Park. Right after this.